Hello everyone, it's Vicky here today designing for Bramble Fox, and I am using the December Fox Box Plus. So I'm going to use the title Great Cheer, which is just there, sorry, Good Cheer. And I'm not going to use the stencil, but that's the stencil in the December Fox Box Plus. And I'm going to use the paper snips with the die that you can find in the store that cuts the bottom half of the paper snips out. So I'm just going to put that onto my mat and put that through my Gemini, and then they will all be cut out. So it makes it pretty simple for cutting things out. Obviously the things above you have to cut out, but it does help with these bits, which are always the same shape. Okay, so you also get some little acrylic dots there, which you can put on top of the circles to make flair. So I'm going to put some on 3 or 4 of those, I think. And then I've got those ready for my layout, and I've got all my other little bits ready as well. So I'll just put those up there, and I'm going to use a white background, and what I want to do is put a big 25 onto my background and nestle my photo in there. So I'm going to use those 2 papers, and I want this layout to be nice and red to go with the title. I don't use red except at Christmas, so it's quite nice to have it and use it now. So I'm just freehand drawing my numbers, and I want them to be chunky enough to be noticeable. I'm just going to freehand them and then cut them, and there's no exact science to this, just eyeball it, cut it out. Nothing needs to be exact. This is a scrapbook layout. It's not, it's not going to go anywhere but into my album. So, well, I mean, you guys are seeing it, but you'll understand. And then I'm going to cut out the 5 as well. And then I'll cut through this bit so you don't have to watch the whole process. There you go. So I have my 20 and my 5, and I'm happy with that. They're not perfect, but I'm happy with them. So I'm just sort of arranging around my page where I think things might go. And this is where I decide to put an outline on my circle with my white pen, and then my white pen runs out. So as I've already started a white line and I can't wipe it off anymore, I have to improvise here. And I use my chalk pen, which is nowhere near as good. And I think ultimately I go over it 3 or 4 times. But it's it doesn't look as good as my normal white Signo pen, so I'm going to do that and call it a day. But I've ordered a new pen. I think about doing it on the 5, but you can't see it at all, so I don't bother. Like another layer on this too. It just soaks into the paper, this chalk pen, and yeah, it's not as good. Okay, so there we are. Just reassembling again. I've got some of the flair there, which I'm going to put on the page. I've got a little tab at the top that says "A season to be cheerful." I'm going to distress the edges of the 2 and 5 just to give them a bit more texture on the page. And I did that with my scissors because I couldn't find my distress tool. But there we go. Now I'm going to put foam onto the back to pop them up. And this is just funky foam, which I get in the Range or somewhere like that in the UK. It's just sticky one side, and it's usually in the kids aisle, the kids crafts aisle, and it just helps rather than stick on lots of individual sticky pads, foam pads. And then I use tape and glue to stick it down because I've mentioned before, but the tape grabs the paper, and then the glue makes sure that it sticks long term, because I don't know why, but sticky back tape tends over time to peel off, I find. If it's just, if it's something that's like this, a bit more thick and chunky, it's fine for flat paper, but just for something like this. Okay, so reassemble again. And I want to do a Santa, so I've got the Santa sled there. I love this little mistletoe. Oh no, this is the dog, and there's also mistletoe which I pull off of here. Got to have a dog. There's no Buster in the photo, so I need a dog. I just put a bit of powder on the back of that mistletoe so it didn't stick automatically to the page before I'm ready for it. Okay, haven't found my Santa yet, but I will. Here's a banner. I don't actually use this banner. I think about using it. Can't really make it work, so I don't. I give up on it. But I find my Santa while I'm in there, so that's good. I look at the Santa on that sticker sheet, but he's too small. I want a nice big Santa on here. Okay, so everything's coming off again because now I think I'm going to outline the numbers, in gold paint. I don't in the end, but I do seriously give it some consideration. So I start off in that gap between the 2 and the 5 where my photo's going, so that if I don't like it, I can cover it over. And I don't like it. Now, once it dried, I might have liked it more, but I didn't like it the way it was, so I gave up and moved on from that. And I decided to do splatters instead. And I do those gold splatters. And then I think about adding some white into that gold, and I add far too much and it doesn't work. My idea was to get some slightly lighter gold splatters, but what happened was I just produced some sort of mucky gold splatters that don't really show on the layout. So yeah, that's what I was going for there. So I've tried that. I wouldn't bother doing that if I was you. Always make sure to clear up, of course. Paint is easier to clean up when it's wet. Okay, so I'm going to start assembling again. My splatters are dry and I'm ready to go. So I want to find something to put on the back of my photo, and I settle on this little pink tag here. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, this is the Mix and A-Mingle collection from Simple Stories from last year. I love the colours, so I'm just using that. Okay, so I'm going to stick my photo down. I distress the edges of that with my fingernails in the absence still of my distress tool, which I found subsequently between filming this and making this voiceover, so yay me. I'm going to start to stick things down. So that tag says, "This season to be cheerful." That little flare says, "Dear Santa, let's negotiate," which I think is pretty cute. The little one with the gift on says, "The gift of today," which is perfect for Christmas Day. There goes Santa. He's going right there, pointing up at me, waving at me. I don't know. We're having a discussion. We're negotiating. That's what's happening. And just going to stick his sleigh down as well. A bit of foam on one side because he's popped up, so his sleigh needs to pop up a little if it's going to sit on top of him. And I'm just putting my glue on the two ends of this, mostly because the middle won't touch the page. Both sides do, because the 5's popped up. Both edges do, but the middle doesn't, so there's no point in putting glue there. Stick my little dog down, my little Buster substitute. And this little flare here. I'm going to stick that paper snips piece down that says December. Just look at all my little bits and pieces. That's just a little tray that I got from a lady in Spain. She 3D prints them, and I love it. It's really cute. I love the little mint green, and it's perfect for putting my bits and pieces in to have a look through. So thank you to her. If you want to know who she is, I will let you know. If you ask me on my Insta or my YouTube channel. And there we go, mistletoe there. What am I doing? I'm thinking it's a dangerous time. This is when I add something on that I don't need. Oh, okay. No, I just put a floral. I was trying to balance out each side because I put the tree one side. It just looked a bit unbalanced, so that was just to balance it out. And there it is, the final layout. I hope it inspires you some way for your Christmas layouts, for using your December Fox box, any bits of mix and a mingle you have left over. However it inspires you, I hope it does. There are some close-ups coming up here as well. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, this has been Vicki for Bramble Fox. See you next time. Bye-bye.